trying to prep my thoughts for this video, and I'm crying just as I'm even thinking about them, so this is going to be interesting to see how it goes. I'm just down in my basement with my paint clothes on in this crawl space that we're kind of making a kid for, and the acoustics are amazing, so I'm like singing to myself and thinking, wow, the acoustics are so amazing. And one of the songs I started thinking and singing to myself made me think of my friend Austin, who passed away recently. Oh my gosh, I haven't talked about it out loud. We weren't like that close. We were more acquaintances. We met at a singles ward, and I think I'll share more at the end. I'll just try to get into seeing, well, if I can stop crying, but can share at the end after this song why music was like a bond between the two of us, and also a little bit what happened with Austin for those who are curious. And but as I was singing it, I just thought, wow, this really commemorates him. And his parents at his funeral said, please let him keep living on. Like, when you go places, think of him like you're taking him there with you, and post it and share it for us to see that, like, we don't just have to think about him as though he's just someone of the past, but that he can be present with us. And so when I was singing in here, I was like, this is perfect. And this song is perfect. So yeah, oh my gosh. Okay. I cried the first time I ever heard this song too, so this was really, let's see how this goes. I can only imagine what it will be like when I walk by your side. I can only imagine what my eyes will see when your face is before me. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Yeah. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Open up, you be still. Will I stand in your presence? To my knees, will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak it all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. I can only imagine when the day comes and you find yourself standing in the sun. I can only imagine when all he will do is forever worship you. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Yeah. Surrounded by your glory, what will my heart feel? Will I dance for you, Jesus? Open up, you be still. Will I stand in your presence? To my knees, will I fall? Will I sing hallelujah? Will I be able to speak it all? I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Surrounded by your glory, what will his heart feel? Will he dance for you, Jesus? If you know him, you definitely will. Stand in your presence. I can only imagine. I can only imagine. Oh goodness, I'm sorry. Picturing him there. Only imagine. I can only imagine. Oh my goodness, that was much harder than I thought it would be. Yeah, me and Austin met in a singles ward, and I'm a convert to the church, and I came from a background where I sang stuff like this every Sunday, and music and worshiping God was really my biggest connection to God, and there are definitely truths and things I learned in the LDS faith and Church of Jesus Christ that struck me as like a truth that I already knew, and I couldn't deny I felt it was true, but it's actually been really hard to leave a faith that I really love, and especially the biggest connection to God, which is that more passionate singing of your faith and all that, which, you know, if you go to LDS church and all that music culture, it's very, very reverent, and it's very in like Old English, and for me it's not a strong connection to God through like the hymns that the church does. I know it is for some people, like there's no wrong or right, it's almost like love languages, right? But I felt like an odd duck at times being a convert in the church and being like, we need some better music, and we need some like LDS Christian artists that are making like some good music, because at the time when I joined, the LDS music scene even was very, in my book, very boring, and also didn't feel like people were pouring out their heart to God. It does feel like they're definitely being sweet, and not that they're not having feelings. My husband's always like, you don't know what people are feeling, and I'm like, he's right. But for me, it was lacking a lot, and I feel like it might be for other people. A lot of people I don't feel like even know what they're missing, because they're just so ingrained in like it's supposed to be reverent. But where I'm going with this is like I'm meeting Austin in the singles ward, and pretty much anyone at the time that I met that played guitar, I was like, ooh, do you want to jam? Do you want to do music? Because I was missing that so much in my life, from going from being with a band every Sunday to like nothing. And there was a few people willing to jam with me. Randy Everett, my husband, and Austin was one of them. And I told Austin, I said, you know, I almost feel like there needs to be a replacement for the R&B and the pop and even rap. Everybody's got different talents. Like, I feel like that should be expressed in music, and I think it still can be expressed in a worshiping type of way. Maybe not reverent, but still in a way to honor God and bring a message through a music style that can only reach certain people. And some people would give me a lot of pushback. It would be like, no, like certain types of music just shouldn't ever really be like associated with religion or God, because they just aren't reverent enough. That's not like respectful. And then Austin was so great because he was just so open-minded. He was like, yeah, I'm totally into that, which is totally his personality. Like, he is totally open-minded to anything, and he's spunky, and he's just such a fun kid. He's unique in a way that you can only know if you know Austin. But it's like those people who like you can't put your finger on what it is, but they are just one of a kind. I would say even unusual, and in a way that for some people who are open-minded, like they get maybe labeled like, I don't know, maybe a little strange. I don't think of him that way because I think I'm a little strange. But really it's because they just don't have all of the like harsh inhibitions that many of us have to express ourselves, which is sad because as children, you know, we go through this phase where we dance with our soul, we sing with our soul, we don't care who's looking, and then we grow into adulthood and like we get so worried about what people think, and then we judge others when they don't worry about as much what people think. And really that's like a beautiful quality. I love that Austin was still really able to like express himself and not have that adult like closeness about him. And so yeah, I want to honor him. Just like he was someone who made me feel comfortable. He was someone who made me feel heard. He was open-minded to the music I wanted to do. He found a kid who he knew was kind of getting into rap and was like, they were both like, yeah, let's do some Christian rap and some LDS rap, like whatever. They were so open-minded and so open-hearted. And it turns out he's in music with like everyone, because he really just, he was like me. Like he just wanted to just be expressing himself that way in a positive way, bringing love and light to people through music. And he would just, anyone who wanted to do music, he was down. And that's a little bit how I was. And I just have fond memories of how funny he was. Like the comments he would make, it was just like he was supernaturally witty, and so he was fun to be around because he was fun, he was funny. I can't think of anyone who has talked about or known Austin and not just had really fond memories. Even before he passed away, me and my husband would think of like some funny things that Austin would say. And one time he compared our friend's crazy amount of leg hair to like breast cleavage. He was like, dude, your leg hair is like cleavage. Like I just keep trying to avert my eyes, but I can't. We have talked about that over the years. Just laugh in a good way. Like we just love him. We just loved the humor that he brought to life. And even though we weren't super close, it was just during those single ward years. For years we hung out, a handful of times. Got to be around him anytime we were at church. Thinking of his parents asking people to post something, I just felt like I should share this. And it definitely felt him as I started singing in here before I even made this video. I was like, this is it. This is what should be shared. I hope he was jamming with me or listening, and I definitely can only imagine what he's seeing and what he's feeling, and it's going to be so glorious and wonderful. But I am so sad for his parents and his wife and his kids. It's so hard to be separated from people, even though probably in the eternities it feels short. It doesn't matter because it doesn't feel short now. So I just want to send my condolences to your families and just say that he was amazing, and he just lives on in people's memories as beloved. And I think anytime I'm singing Christian music, I think I'll try to remember him, because there's so few people who are as open to the way I am and the way I want to sing. And I appreciate him for that. I think that's it. Oh, if anybody's wondering, he went missing in the Dutton, I think, Mount Dutton or something, Garfield County, a few months back. He is such an explorer, and he's a push himself explorer from the way he was described at his funeral. And so I don't think it's entirely known, everything that happened. You can't know when someone's out alone and you're not there, but maybe he got lost, too cold. It was middle of winter. But he did go missing, and his remains were just finally found recently. And that's sad, but also really great for his family and everyone to have closure. So you will live on in our memories, and I think, every time I sing this kind of music, I'm gonna try to remember him and feel him with me and feel like he's jamming with me, because honestly, very few people would jam with me alongside to this music, except for other Christian non-denominational Christians, which I don't, I'm not in that church anymore, so I'm not surrounded by much anymore. So I'll be thinking about you, Austin.